What's up, family? It is Kaden with Urban Finance. In this video, I'll be doing a net worth update, as well as talking to you about some of the best investment decisions we've made thus far. And so the stock market last month has certainly been a roller coaster ride, and that's one reason that I truly believe investing for the long term and not thinking as much about the short-term gains. And so if you've invested in a lot of small cap companies, then you've probably had a very bumpy ride last month. And that's why I always like to tell people, even though it is okay to invest into some small caps, you really want most of your investments within sturdy companies. And so we'll take a look at that, as well as discuss my net worth updates. Now, if you're new to this channel, I talk about everything related to financial literacy, investing, and building generational wealth. So if you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe to the page, and hit the bell to be notified of when I post something new. And if you'd like to get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400, sign up for the app Webull with the link in the description and make a qualifying deposit. I believe it's like $100 that you can invest into the stock market. So as you already know, to calculate your net worth, you'll take everything you own and subtract it from everything you owe. And so you'll have a lot of examples in this video. So if you don't already know how to calculate your net worth, you'll definitely see. And so we're not going to include smaller items in our particular net worth update, like furniture and clothes and all of those other items that may, have value to it, that we can get money from selling it. It just makes things a little easier for us. So we're not going to include the computer or even the camera that I'm shooting this video on. So the first asset we'll talk about is our cars. The total net equities for our car is about $9,000, and we do not owe anything on our car. We own them right out, and so that's pure equity for those cars. And as you can see from last year, our car depreciated about $5,000. I'll put the actual numbers on the screen, but as you can see, a car is truly a depreciating asset, and over time these cars will probably be worth nothing, or maybe $1,000 or something very minuscule. And I don't anticipate us buying a new car until these cars don't actually work anymore. And when we do buy a new car, our goal would be either to pay primarily cash for the car, potentially something that's under $20,000 that we can buy with cash. And even if we can't buy it in the cash, we can probably put most of the money down and then aggressively pay it off within 6 months. So that will probably be our strategy even when we pick up another car. Our second asset is our home. So our home, we value it about $450,000. I believe we currently owe about $373,000 on it. Again, I'll show the exact numbers on the screen because I don't have it memorized to the T. And I believe we have about $76,000 of equity in our home, probably a little more than that. Again, the exact numbers will be on the screen. And this is the full first year we've actually owned our home. One of the beautiful things is that we actually bought the house with equity in it, and that's the first thing. And the second thing is that we've finally seen the true value of home ownership in terms of it significantly impacting our taxes. And so one thing that we've consistently done is save every month to pay the government, Uncle Sam, taxes at the end of the year. Because for the last few years, we've been paying tax bills up to about $8,000 to the government. But this year, we've had a lot of deductions that pretty much eliminate our tax bill. One of those deductions was our home. Another one was our charitable contributions. We had a son. Don't think of him as a deduction, but it certainly helps out. And we had a few other things, even the business that we run from our home. And so all of those things were added in, and after deducting it, the government actually had to pay us back some money. Very small amount of money, less than $500, but just not having to pay the government significantly helped out in us keeping our network where it is, because we did think we would be paying the government at least $5,000 just based on what we paid in previous years. But all of our deductions certainly came in handy. And that's one thing I'll say right here. Make sure you're tracking every single expense that can be deductible, because it makes a significant difference. I know we were very intentional about tracking everything we spend on our business, particularly since some of the other deductions were pretty standard. So with the savings from not having to pay Uncle Sam this month alone, we're gonna be able to pay an extra $1,000 towards the principal on our mortgage. And our hope is that we can pay an additional $1,000 towards the principal in our mortgage every month going forward. One of the interesting things is, although we pay over $2,000 for our mortgage every month, only $600 goes towards the principal. So for the year so far, we've only actually paid about $1,800 towards the principal. Some months we were able to pay maybe $100 more, but because we were focusing on saving to pay Uncle Sam for his taxes, we weren't throwing as much to the principal of our house. But that's our main priority, even above investing for us, which is really strongly one of our priorities. We really want to eliminate this house. So we just have a little under $250,000 in liquid investments, and so that is pretty amazing for us. And so that's the X right there, the $250,000, and to be more exact, is a little over $242,000. And within that big $242,000 bucket is made up of our retirement investment, which is the largest portion of that, and then our emergency fund, which is the second largest portion of that. And then in addition to our retirement invested in our emergency fund, we also obviously have brokerage accounts that we put money into outside of retirement, and that will be for our early retirement. Not that we'll actually retire, but we want to be able to even within the next 10 years if we wanted to. I always say in this channel, I absolutely love what I do for work, so there's little to no chance that I'll probably retire anytime into old age, God willing. But, you know, I do want to be in a position where I don't feel like I have to do anything at any time that I don't want to. And that is why we have a brokerage account to supplement our retirement funds. So the overall growth for our investments, I believe, was a little over $16,000, which was amazing. I am very happy with that type of growth. Now, every month is not going to be like that. Last month, I said I wanted over $15,000 growth this month, and so I'm happy to see that type of growth in our overall investments and savings and our net worth. And so next month, I am actually not going to predict where it would be, because it doesn't really matter that much, because this is really about long-term investing. But you know, if you've been following this channel, our overall goal for the year is 100K change in our investment account, not even in our net worth. I think our net worth will increase more than $100,000, but just in our investment accounts, we want 100K growth, and we are certainly on track to do that. But you know, I always say the stock market gives and the stock market takes away. And so, you know, while it feels good, looks good to have $100,000 growth in your investment accounts, if it doesn't happen, it's not a big deal. So if you add up everything that we own, so that is our home, that is our cars, and that's our investments and savings, we'll come out to a little over $700,000. And then if you take out what we owe from those, which is primarily the mortgage on our house, we'll have about $328,000 for our net asset. So our net worth is $328,000 right now. The last thing I'll say, some of the things that have worked best for us in investing is really sticking to tried and true investment. And so that is Vanguard's S&P 500 fund. That is our primary investment vehicle, where 95% of our funds go. And then we do have some single stocks, we do have some other investments, but really Vanguard S&P 500 fund and Fidelity's S&P 500 fund, those are where we put the bulk of our wealth. And another fund that I'll potentially be adding soon, I'm thinking around maybe July, August, I'll be adding QQQ, which is the NASDAQ 100 fund, and consistently invested into that, and we'll see where that takes us. Quick disclaimer, that last bit I shared is not investment advice. Alright family, I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you have any questions at all, let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe to the page, and hit the bell to be notified of when I post something new. And like I always say, even in the midst of these times, God bless you, and remember to live your best life.